and this is going to be a very big loss for
his blink
Neretic.
finishes and he blinks into the Broodlords trying to take him out, but it's just no good. And Neretic has just taken horrible losses.
Right, Neretic has almost lost his entire army, and the army of Bblack is still looking strong. If we look at the supply, it's 197 against 111.
Yeah, and it really looks like Bblack is thinking, okay, I really have an advantage right now. I'm gonna push. My opponent has nothing he can do to stop me. First scouting out this base, seeing if there's anything to kill. There isn't. So he's probably just going to push through the center. These Broodlords a bit out of position, but the reinforcements are close by, and these Stalkers get cleaned up so easily.
Right, and he has nothing to do with his army. I mean, there are 3 Stargates coming right now, but man, 3 Stargates are not going to produce enough Phoenixes in time to deal with these Broodlords, I feel.
Well, interestingly enough, if you look at the unit stat, we don't see any Corruptors. But, you know, if you have this many Hydras, you don't really need Corruptors to deal with. And we have Dark Templar.
Oh, and there's no detection right now, so these Dark Templar are going to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I wonder if Bblack has actually noticed it, because they're doing so much damage. Wow, so many Hydras are falling because they're not very strong units indeed.
Oh my god, these Hydras are going down, and then there's nothing to deal with the ground units.
Oh, there isn't. And wow, he's lost almost all of his Hydras right now. However, fortunately for a Zerg player, Dark Templar cannot attack air units, and that's pretty much his saving grace in this situation.
That would be so OP, man, if Dark Templar could also attack air units.
It would. Wow. But really, these Dark Templar, it was a good move. He's done a lot of damage to his opponent, but he still doesn't really have a lot to deal with these Broodlords.
Right, but don't you think Bblack should maybe put some more pressure on, because he's got such a big army, and I mean, he's stalling a little bit, don't you feel?
Yeah, he is. He could really optimize his army a bit more, I think. Maybe add in infestors. He's got a lot of resources, so he has all the freedom in the world he needs to put more pressure on his opponent, who is currently mostly making Void Rays to deal with these Broodlords. If he manages, however, to keep up his Hydra count well enough, there's really nothing those Void Rays are going to be able to do against this Zerg Death Ball.
But he's not making Hydras, he's making actually Spore Crawlers. That's probably just to detect. He's also got 4 Overseers with his army right now. And, well, that's going to detect some DTs,
yeah, he's not going to make that same mistake again. And, well, we now, I think, pushing into the finally finished 4th of Neretic. He sees the Void Ray count, he sees the Stalkers, and he knows that his army composition is pretty much perfect in order to deal with this. And he's just going to go for it. Broodlings just tearing apart these photon cannons right now.
This base is not going to be established for much longer. This is a great push by Bblack. I really feel that he can maybe take the game if he is quick enough. With 50 more Corruptors going in,
indeed,
that can really mean the decisive factor in the battle against the Void Rays.
Yeah, these Void Rays pretty much, I mean, they're not bad units against Corruptors. However, when you just have sheer numbers, which is of course what Zerg is really good at, there's nothing that Protoss can really do. He's finally managed to muster a bit of an army, but the Broodlord count is just a little bit too high, and he's going to go for a counterattack, which is actually probably his last-ditch effort, and able to force his opponent to come back. If he manages to lure his opponents back, he's probably going to be able to live for that much longer.
Right, this is really important right now. But if this army catches the army of Neretic off guard, I mean, I don't think that Neretic could deal with this in any way, shape, or form. And it really seems that he is trapped right now. He's trying to move back, but the army of Bblack is already coming. He's a little bit out of position.
And he's really nicely using the mobility of these Stalkers to take care of these Corruptors. However, the Corruptors are just tearing through this army, and even though he doesn't want to, the engagement does take place, and Neretic's army just gets destroyed once again. And GG! Neretic loses the first game. Bblack takes the first game, 1-0. We'll be right back.
Wow. Can you guys believe actually Neretic got cannon rushed and he had to cancel his expansion and then got back and actually took the game? Wow, that was amazing. Oh, Bblack, sorry I misspoke. Of course, Bblack.